It's Monday the 13th of March. The month is rolling right along like I knew it would. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful week to be alive. It's a beautiful day to be alive. We're back. Mike and I were talking about the weed situation in Jersey, how he went to a weed store last week and the fucking line ended in Philadelphia. That's how, you know. And it's so weird how the weed is blowing up. And I'm really happy that the reefer has blown up. I was telling Mike, I remember when the pharmacy opened up in L.A., and I refused to go to those places. I had a dealer. I was stuck with him. You know, I fought to the end, but between the lollipops and the cookies and the cakes, you know, he wasn't a baker. So I was like, fuck it, let me go to the pharmacy. Dog, I was like a kid in a fucking candy store. It was phenomenal. Like I told Mike, for about 6 months, and I looked at my credit card statements, and I'm like, what the fuck was this? You know, you went from buying an 8 for $50 to spending $220 a day now. So if I was smoking an 8 in 2 days, I was going down there and dropping $200 just to have an extra 8. The weed was so fun. Every time I went in there, they had ice cream and lip balm. Can you imagine just putting lip balm on and getting fucking high? They had everything at the fucking pharmacy. But then, like I said, I realized how much I was fucking spending. My wife pulled me aside and she's like, you put $5,000 on a card in a month. And she was hot. She goes, you're going to fucking pay that back. I paid it back. Everything worked itself out. And I had a good time doing it. And I'm happy that New York has finally been legalized in New York City. And it's finally been legalized in New Jersey and all the other spots. And the weed stores are making money and people have somewhere to go. But in California right now, the tax on reefer is so fucking high. Like when people walk into a store and they walk, like I told Mike, they get in their car, you know, they open up the bag, maybe they want to drink the fucking CBD water like I used to get, and all of a sudden you see the receipt there, and you see that you spent $125, but you dropped $60 in taxes. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And you know, when you go to these weed stores now, I mean, I have not been to a weed store yet in Jersey. They say there's one in Neptune that I'm thinking of stopping in and just saying hello. But when you go to a weed store, what I'm getting is that they're really packed. The lines are fucking, the ones up northern New Jersey, it's impossible. You got to be there at 10 in the morning. You can't have a fucking day job to get weed. You got to be there all fucking day, like getting barbecue in Austin. It's a 3-hour experience. So, but I'm happy, but I'll tell you what's going to happen. Like in LA right now, when you look at those receipts, you're like, $50 in taxes, $54.
Is it even cheaper for medical? Because I'm buying, recreation. They wouldn't even let me see that stuff.
Medical, I don't know. There is more of a, medical is THC controlled. Like the THC levels are controlled. And I don't know if it's more expensive. I remember going to Denver and you walked in and there, when you walked into the big weed store, there was like a medical and a recreational side. And I know that like the recreational side didn't sell edibles over 100. I don't know. I know that there's little rules, but it's gonna, in LA right now, people are just going back to the black market. People buying, I have a friend here that buys pounds from LA. And he shows me the links that he gets. And he gets pretty good weed for $2,600 a pound, $2,200 a pound, The prices are going down. But he's a genius because he sells it in joints. Mm-hmm. So I told him, I said, you can't take laughing gas and really get the full value of it in joints. And I'll tell you why, because it's that good. It's that fucking good. Between us, you don't need a fucking joint. The guava kush, you don't need a joint of that. Oh my God, the one hitter, the tremendous, you don't need a joint of that. You'll roll a joint to be cool, but it's you don't need a joint of that. That's the mistake I had. When you buy an eighth of pot, especially anything over 25 milligram, 25%, 26%, it's really bong hit weed. It's really bong hit weed. For you people who don't know, when you see these rappers with these blunts all day, they're smoking shitty weed. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, they buy weed to smoke and they roll 10 of those fucking things. Listen, I love smoking reefer, but the prices of reefer are fucking, astronomical. And yeah, listen, right now, like I was saying, some of these kids that are buying weed, these young guys, they never really had a dealer. They've never really had a dealer. If you were 18 in California 20 years ago, you never had a dealer. You walked into a store, and that's all you've known since day one. I always enjoyed the dealer. Like, I miss calling the guy, like getting paid on a Friday, and calling the guy and going, I'll be there at 6, and you stop and get a 12-pack. You tell your friends, I'll be over there at 7. And you go to, you go to his house, you buy a fucking eighth, you take a bong hit, you smoke some, you talk some shit, and you get in the car and you fucking drive away, and the whole time you're worried that the cops are going to pull you over and shit. That's getting weed to me. Like, that's the fun day of getting weed. But life has changed, and I fucking get it. Listen, I get it. I've always loved going to a weed store. I am not going to lie to you motherfuckers and tell you that there is me at my age to walk into anything. I don't get excited anymore. Like, when you fucking, after you're 10, remember when you were 10, you went to get a Hot Wheel, you were fucking excited all week. Like, yeah, I get fucking excited when I walk into a weed store. And especially, like, I like the new end ones that are big and everybody comes up to you with the computer, not to buy weed, just to see what they've done with the reefer business. How complicated they've made it. There was a place in LA called House of Pies. Loved the place. I loved that coconut custard pie. I went there twice. And I walked by there 80 times a fucking week and wouldn't go back in there. Because I had to go up to the window. Hi, Mike, how are you? Good. What would you like, Joey? I'd like the coconut custard pie. Okay, write it down. Now, the coconut custard pie would be 5 feet behind you. All you had to do is turn around, take it, and cut it, and give you the coconut custard pie. No. They had a receipt. They give it to the chick. The chick ran into the back to the Mexican, and you had to wait 10 minutes for a piece of fucking pie. Great pie, but I'm not waiting. You just added a job to a job that wasn't needed. You just added a whole hike to the back. You could have just turned around and cut a slice and put on a fucking dish and given it to me. I'm not that particular. I don't need a fancy fucking dish or whatever. They didn't even, they didn't even dope it up or anything. When you go to these high-end weed stores, like, and it happened right in front of my fucking eyes. I was going to the one weed store on Burbank Boulevard. They were the Russians. They would really take care of me. They were great people. The guy was great to me.